Soto, then you'll grade. Like, I'll go through this list and then I'll tell you to put a grade on it. We'll talk about it. We'll go to the next.
Just to let you know that Juan Soto grade, we can get right into it right now. That shit's an A.
Yeah.
But welcome to Hot Corner, baby. Well, welcome to Row 26, Hotz, Dreamers, Sixers. We're here. Got my boy Johnny here. You know, he's flexing the muscles today, as you can see. We're here.
Straight from the gym.
Let's go. How you feeling, John? Good to see you.
Good. Good, man. I'm feeling good, excited, happy. Happy to be here. Love the pod. Love to fucking chop it up with my boy Zach. You know, we're here for the fucking sports talk. We're here for the laughs. We're ready to get it in. We're going to start with a little MLB. The season's coming up before you know it. Honestly, after football and I guess probably martial arts, you know, UFC, MMA, like baseball is definitely my favorite sport. Not that I don't love the NBA, the NHL, college basketball especially, but you know, I'm excited for baseball to get back. I'll say it. You know, this hockey NBA doldrum, we talked about it a little last week when it's just hockey and basketball without playoffs. Between the Super Bowl and March Madness is the worst sports calendar time of the year. Would you agree?
I can't agree more. I mean, it's just like October is like primo, like sports time. And then you have times like this in the year where it's just like, what the fuck? And you're waiting for like Masters. You're waiting for like all the alternative sports to like give them their best right now. The NCAA basketball, like their tournament. Like you're looking at all the B sports for a product right now because in your head, like there's just nothing that competes with the Omega.
Off the cuff, I feel like should the NBA start later? I'm trying to think of like how they could fix this, or is this just like something as sports fans we just have to deal with? We're spoiled with how much sports we get to consume nowadays with the ESPN pluses, with the streaming services of the world. Like, are there solutions to this besides maybe just every once in a while we get lucky with, you know, exciting sports news outside of the major sports? I know some people are watching tennis
June right now, right? Barely. It just barely enters into the beginning parts of June into like the mid-teens of June usually.
Yeah, I think like mid-June is when it wraps up around, depending on how quick the series goes in the finals.
You might be onto something if you could slide it back and you get all of July for basketball, NBA finals, and then you're sliding into August, which is like
because the other dog days of sports is when NBA and NHL ends and it's just baseball. And then like
July, August area is but it's also the summer. I feel like they play into that because they know people are outside more, not in front of the tube as much. The viewership's maybe a little bit down, so it's a good time to keep the viewership down because they know the weather. They're kind of using the seasons maybe in a way. Thoughts on that?
I get what you're saying. I know, like restaurants, the worst month of the year is typically like August because everyone's traveling and things like that, you know. So, I mean, there's a lot that goes into it, but now we'll get right into it. Now we love baseball. We're gonna start talking about like free agency moves this past off season, or I guess current off season because they still aren't playing yet. But I got a list here. We're gonna go over it. I'm gonna say a name. Zach's going to give us a grade. We're going to talk about it briefly, and then we'll get right into, you know, how we're going to do this. So, number one ranked free agent this offseason, no surprise, Juan Soto, 26 years old, signed a 15-year, so that goes until he's 41 years old, $765 million deal with the Mets. What's the grade and just your general reaction?
I mean, the grade's an A. When you can get a perennial, once in a generational type player, in my opinion, I think that you do what you got to do. The money is the money, you know. Money as a fan doesn't mean anything to me. I don't pay these bills, so I don't care about how much a guy like Steve Cohen, who makes endless amounts of money from his funds, is spending on a player like Juan Soto. Do I think that there's a possibility that Juan Soto could, you know, not live up to $765 million? Yeah, it's possible. That money is astronomical, but do I still think Soto's a generational talent and his production's still going to be better than 95% of the MLB, at least? Yes. So I think from that perspective, it's an A because those types of guys are not on the market a lot, ever.
Yeah, and I love your first point being that, like, as a fan, like, why do we care about the, you know, especially in baseball, when there's no salary cap. Yeah, there's luxury tax, but they could spend as much money as they want. There is no restriction. There's no governor. So people are like, oh, they overpaid. Well, who the fuck cares? It's not like they can't sign other people because of it. You know, we'll get into it later, but there's other guys that they've signed since then and hasn't affected them. And, you know, like you said, Steve Cohen.
The first time that a team overpaid, for the record. And then, go ahead.
No, what I'm saying, Steve Cohen makes $765 million in probably 6 months in his hedge fund.
Yeah.
You know?
172 asset manager, if you look it up, their funding, they're worth over $450 billion. So
if you've seen the show Billions, Bobby Axelrod's character is based on Steve Cohen. Yeah. You know, super duper mega rich, the richest of the billions. Yeah, exactly. I mean, so who cares? You know, everyone being like, "Oh, well, they overpaid this and that." The contract doesn't handcuff you if your money is unlimited. So
what's the yearly there, by the way? What's the yearly, by the way? There, just to.
I mean, 15 times 50 is 750 million. So 50 million.
So it's about 51
million exactly.
Honestly, we're going to be looking back on that contract. You mark my words right now. It's the same thing that happened with Mahomes. Remember, he got the 50 million a year, and the cap went up, and now he's not even the top 4 paid player at his position now. It's like, or he's like right there.
Yeah.
You watch in a couple of years this contract that looks astronomical when Ohtani's due or whoever's due or whoever it might be at their time.
Yeah, Judge, you know,
these guys are going to get more, and you watch, it's going to happen.
Yeah, no, it's incredible. I mean, honestly, obviously, Juan Soto, just to, you know, we're talking about the contract a lot, but as a player, I think, you know, as crazy as it sounds, he might be even underrated. You know, you look at these like on base percentage numbers, you know, it's
WAR numbers.
It's Barry Bonds adjacent, you know, not quite there, obviously, you know, he's not on steroids, but, you know, you look at the, you know, just I just saw you lighting up. I remembered I had a joint in my ear.
There we go.
But it's crazy to think about that, like the on base percentage being in the 450s plus, you know, like that kind of like getting on base 45% of the time is absolutely insane. Setting the table or just protection, you know, for Alonso now.
We don't win anything in last year's playoffs as a Yankee fan here. We don't win shit last year without Soto. Judge was silent. We don't make it out of the first round of the playoffs without Soto, straight up.
Yeah, I mean, the Mets lineup is really starting to come together now. You know, Lindor, Juan Soto,
Alvarez.
You know, probably followed by some combination of Vientos and Alonso. You know, it's getting scary. So we'll see how it goes, but we'll keep it moving. The next name on this list, we talked about it briefly before the show. I wasn't sure if you remembered, but Corbin Burns to the Diamondbacks, 6 years, $210 million. You know, that shakes out to like $33 million a year, roughly.
Yep. That's a good buy. I like Corbin Burns. I think that I give him respect to go in the division with the Dodgers. You know, he's going to see them a bunch. It's a tough lineup that he's going to be, that team's going to be seeing a bunch. So respect to him to go to one of their competitors and not just be Blake Snell and join up with the fucking what's it called? What was I gonna say? Like the Star Wars, like a fucking the dark side. Excuse me. Yeah, the dark side.
Death Star.
Death Star. Yeah, something like that. Exactly. So respect to Corbin Burns for that. You know, I don't know. I mean, I think that it definitely impacts the Diamondbacks. I think Diamondbacks are going to have a good squad actually this year. They'll be a playoff team. I think they're a top 10 team in the MLB coming into the season. I think they're like a fringy team. So I'm excited to see what he can bring to their pitching rotation and kind of just stability from the front end of that rotation. Definitely think Burns is a guy. It's definitely an A or an A minus, I would say.
Yeah, no, I'm a big Corbin Burns fan. I've been following his career for a while now, from Milwaukee, obviously, to the Orioles last year, kind of on a bet on himself deal, and now locks up that $200+ million. Just a great, asset to have on the team. And, to pair him with Zach Gallen at the front of that rotation. This team is just 1 year removed from being in the World Series. They lost to the Rangers. They have a lot of young talent, too, with Corbin Carroll in the outfield, one of the best players under 25 in all the major leagues. So this team is definitely going to make a splash. Everyone's already anointing the Dodgers, and obviously they have a great team. They won the World Series. They've done a lot of adding, but this is a team I think that could push them in the NL West with pitching, because at the end of the day, pitching trumps, especially starting pitching. And with those two guys at the front of your rotation, you're set up to win a lot of series. You go into a 3-game series and you're starting off with Zach Gallen and Corbin Burns, or Corbin Burns, Zach Gallen, how they decide to slate it. You're looking at two top-tier starters to start the rotation. So I love the signing for Arizona. It shows that they're willing to go for it, out in Chase Field. I've always liked the Diamondbacks as a franchise. I think they're run pretty well. I think they obviously came into the league as an expansion
I hate
team.
them as a Yankee fan, for the record.
Yeah, I mean that was a great World Series, obviously ages ago, but like I said, they just made it back recently, and they continue to, be a fun team to cheer for, to root for,
Yep.
and we'll keep it moving though. The third team here, we're going to get into the Death Star. We got Roki Sasaki, and this is the MLB.com's rankings. To be fair, obviously this guy has never played in the majors, so who knows? There's always surprises. But they got him ranked number 3. He's 23 years old, fireballer. Where you land on this one?
I don't know. I mean, Sasaki, yeah, I think it's like a B or a B plus. I think that it's better to have a guy like that join your team versus him join, let's say, the Diamondbacks, for example, and then he ends up being a phenom, and you had a chance to sign him, and there was good buy-in from maybe the Ohtani introduction, whatever it might be friends, like things like that, from the World Baseball circuit, and just like, just from a countryman perspective. But I think that just as a whole, we could just talk about the Dodgers in terms of what all the moves that they did. We could just break it down, every move that they did, and I think as a whole, it's an A plus. Like we can go through each move, but like it feels like they just got stronger in every place that they kind of needed to. They needed a little bit more pitching, so they go get this Sasaki guy. They go get Blake Snell. It's just like they needed to make sure they retain some of that heart and soul. They got Teoscar back. They got Blake Trinan back. It just feels like with them, it's just so like I don't even know what to say at this point with this roster. This roster's absolutely filthy.
Well, I will say I do think to bring it back to Sasaki quick, and then I'll get into my broader Dodgers take.
Yeah.
So I do think Sasaki, I'll compare it to Yoshinobu Yamamoto last year, who they got, and he was a good pitcher. He was kind of like a number 3, a good solid starter. I think this is a fair comp for Sasaki this year, with maybe potential to be even worse. With a guy like I'm trying to say like. Because he's younger, and he's the only reason why I give it a better grade than the BB plus is because he's so cheap because of the international restrictions.
Right.
So where they're not really on the hook for a ton of money. So that's why I like Sasaki. But I do think he's closer to a Yamamoto than he is like a Kodai Senga or a guy for the Cubs last year. His name is escaping me.
What's his name? Oh, I know who you're talking.
Yeah. I had him on the fantasy team. This is whack. Just look up Cubs Japanese pitcher while I talk about it quick. But I think he's closer to a Yamamoto than those guys coming in and striking out everybody.
Shota
Imanaga, yes, correct. Where these guys came in and they were striking out everybody, with their unique pitches for Senga, the Ghost Fork. I don't think Sasaki's going to come in and just dominate games like that. Obviously, Senga and Imanaga both had games where they got blown up a little bit, where that main pitch isn't working as well as it usually does. But I don't see him coming in and being dominant. And where we saw with Yamamoto last year, like when he did kind of not live up quite to the hype, they went out and they got a Jack Flaherty in the middle of the year to shore up that rotation. They relied on Walker Buehler in the playoffs to step up. Yep. Now, I know that they lost Flaherty. He went back to the Tigers, weirdly. Kind of a good move by the Tigers to trade him, still make a little run, and then re-sign him for a very kind of fair deal. We'll get into that maybe a little later. But, the Dodgers as a whole, they didn't rest on their laurels after a World Series, which if you're a Dodgers fan, you love to see.
Yeah,
they went out, they got Sasaki, they re-signed Teoscar, they got Tanner Scott for the bullpen. They really Blake Snell, a couple of years removed from a Cy Young, but still a guy.
Tanner Scott, bro. Oh my God.
But I think Blake Snell is a guy who isn't pitching deep into games anymore. It's really like a 5-inning guy at this point.
A young guy a couple of years ago, right? Off the wins. He had like 19 wins, whatever that
was. Like I said, the Cy Young was a great season, but last year he wasn't really pitching deep into games. Still a really good pitcher, but now, but that rotation does look good now. Yamamoto, Sasaki. I don't know where Ohtani's going to fall in terms of pitching yet. I guess we kind of got to wait till the regular season shakes out and see what they do there.
I've been reading that maybe some bullpen stuff.
I think he should start, to be honest. I get it why you might want to, just rely on his bat and, his base running, but it is kind of a situation where I'd almost rather him be a full-time starter and maybe not play as many games at DH or the outfield, maybe start, sit, play 2 or 3, start, sit, but then again, who knows? Well, what do I know? I think the best chance to get him hurt again is to play him every day, whether that's even if that's a DH, you know, because we see him even in the playoffs. If that wasn't the playoffs, he's probably sitting out because he got hurt again. But it's the playoffs, so you have nothing to lose. So you go out there and you play. But he wasn't great in the playoffs besides a few big moments. You look at his overall playoff statistics, his numbers were down. But the Dodgers leveled up. The Sasaki signing, I give it a B+, A-. But based on the contract being, not a hard-hitting contract.
And the team that, like, the soft landing he gets landing with a team like the Dodgers where there won't be maybe as much pressure on. He'll maybe have some starts where he gives up 2 to 3 runs and they score 11 and no one even knows that, like, he's still working through some things. There's going to be some cover up probably for him, a little bit. Some
and
makeup.
Just also the Japanese, contingency of Ohtani and Yamamoto, and it is getting to a point now. And I guess I'm kind of contradicting myself because I brought up Senga going to New York and Imanaga going to Chicago. But it does feel like those West Coast teams almost have an unfair advantage with these Japanese players in the proximity to home, in the fan base having a ton of people.
Sung
those
Kim
cultures.
The Dodgers too, bro. Also, he's Korean, but like another.
Any one of those 3 name guys are typically Korean. When it goes like Sung Kim, Yun Kim, Chan Ho Park.
Also, the name Kim is much more known in Korean.
But I think the 3 name, no matter what, Chan Ho Park, that's usually indicative of Korean.
True.
But either way, still an Asian country that has that shorter
Korea
commute.
More accessible and easier from California than
exactly. And a lot of the fan base, like even New York, there's a lot of Asian people, but it's mostly Chinese. Like Japanese people typically live on the West Coast. That's I don't know. I don't know if there's anything the MLB could actually do to legislate it or like make it. But it does seem like they're getting almost an unfair advantage of the influx of Japanese talent. It's going to be West
Coast.
The
idea that you can sign a Japanese player and then he can call his boy who plays for the Japanese team and put him in touch with the head coach Dave Roberts to then go scout him. And then
but that's like if there's 2 guys from fucking Cincinnati, they could do that. You know what I mean?
But
Japan. I feel like
it's cliquey is what I'm saying. If I was a Japanese player coming over for the first time, I'd want to go somewhere where I know that there's a player on the team where I can speak Japanese with them. And if it happens to be the best player in baseball, it just makes it even that much more of a soft landing.
Japan has the same population of about half of the United States, and these numbers might be outdated. This is like a number I know from a long time ago, but it's about half of the United States, and it's about the size of like one big state. And not even like a huge state like Texas or Alaska. It's about like the size of maybe Florida or California, and it has half the population of the whole United States. So yes, it's obviously going to be cliquey because it's, like I guess I compared it to Cincinnati or whatever. Like 2 guys from Florida, we'll say, but like Florida is still like has exponentially less people in it than Japan, even though it's the same geographic size.
There's also like the homogeneousness versus like being a Floridian of pride, like the homogeneousness of being the Japanese person. I feel like when I'm going to go to the United States and play in the MLB, like probably would look for a team that like, but also like just my people in the past, has signed my people in the past, and maybe some of my people.
My point more being is like even you could be a countryman of the USA.
Right.
And like you could live in Florida and you could live in Washington State and be across the fucking country. And you've never even been bordering
and
any
different
Washington,
ethics, different politics, different everything. Yeah.
If you're from Japan, the farthest away you are from anyone else in Japan is like 5 or 6 hours driving.
Yeah. Where like, a little bit more, but
you've probably crossed you've been to the same place on vacation or something like that. Like you've been You know what I mean? Like it's like
I know
you have
exactly what you mean. Like people that live in Tokyo have been to Sapporo, which is like the most northern known city, and like Tokyo's the most northern southern city.
You have common ground. You know what I mean? So
and it speaks to the closeness of the country, and that's also what we're talking
about.
That's
what I mean. Like that's what I mean. Like within in terms of being nationalistic, it's much more likely from somewhere like that. Where, like I said, and it's not like there's not a lot of people there. That's what I mean, too, is like, even though it's so small, there's still half the population of the United States.
Yeah, there's 120 to 150 million people that live in Japan.
Yeah, exactly. All right, we'll keep it moving, though. Roki Sasaki, good signing at the price we're saying. Number 4 on this list Blake Snell. We had talked about the Dodgers a lot. We could probably keep it moving if you want to just advance past that one.
Yeah, Blake Snell, I'd say is like a BB plus. I mean, they've had some injuries at the pitching spot with Glass now getting injured last year. That's why they ended up getting Flaherty and stuff like that. We just talked about, and they ended up now signing the Sasaki guy. So we'll see. I think Snell's a nice arm. Again, this team's going to supply a lot of runs, so a guy like Snell is probably going to be chilling because, even if he gives up those runs, it really doesn't affect him maybe as it did in the past on the Padres or some of these other teams where a good performance was required, even though the Padres have had good offense in the past. I would say
I don't love Blake Snell as like a character guy either. He kind of seems like a bit of a doof, He's getting a little older now too. He's 32 now. I don't know.
They've been clamoring for him for years, for the record. Isn't that wild? They've been asking for him.
Yeah, I mean, he's not bad. He's a lefty, he has great stuff. Like I said, he's not going deep into games. He's not blow people away kind of player anymore. And I think it's a good signing, not a great signing, so I'm right with you. At number 5, we have Alex Bregman. 3 years, $120 million from the Red Sox, age 31. Where are you at here?
See, this one's like a B minus. Like, I love Bregman as a player, but I don't know how this fits. Like, what's up with Devers? Like, are they sliding people around from third? Like, how is this? I feel like that's also going to just mess with Devers and who's like your main guy, right? So what is the plan?
I wholeheartedly agree with that take. You're all over it. I think I don't know if you saw the press conference with Devers. No. I think there was a little bit of like a language barrier, but also they're talking to him and he's like, they like promised me third base, And then they kind of like reiterated the question. They're like, well, you just did sign Bregman. Like, what do you think's going to happen? He just was like, I play third. That it's like, I play third. Like, and it's kind of in his like Dominican accent or whatever, like, I play third. Like, there's like, I don't know what you're asking me. Like, it seemed like there might have been a language barrier kind of situation, but it seemed like
he was just being deliberate of his language barrier kind of thing. Like forward thinking about it. And he was just like, well, I play third.
Like, I don't know if he's
say what you want. I don't understand you. So I'll just say,
I don't know if they're both going to play third or if one of them's going to DH or if they're going to switch off.
If the ball gets through my legs, he can get the ball. Yeah.
They both literally play third at the same time. No, but I mean, like, one of them plays third 81 games. One of them plays third, But no, that was a good joke. I like that. But that was a good bit. But no, looking at it, I'm thinking the same kind of thing. Like, the money is good. $40 million a year. It was short years because he is 31 now. But Bregman isn't the Bregman of 2018 to 2021. Last year he was like 288, around 20 homers. He's not like 35 homers, 300. He's not that guy anymore, I don't think. But a good player, a winning player, and I think the Red Sox are sneakily putting together a little something.
They're young.
I think they are a sneaky team next year that I think might make a push. I am interested to see what happens with Devers. It's a weird situation. I think Devers is a better player than Alex Bregman, clearly, at this point in their careers.
And just like also on the game itself, just impact, like his personality, just the threat, just like everything that he brings beyond the stats. Even if we go to the stats, I'm sure they would say possibly still Devers. I don't know offhand, but like home runs wise, I would assume Devers is more average. Maybe Bregman has him. Hits, I would have to see. I don't know. I mean, they're different kinds of players, but I think what Devers has also within that fan base, it seems like he has like a Brunson type of like a fan base that's behind him all the time.
If I could have one or the other, I'd take Devers. But my point being, it's like I want to keep Devers happy. If he wants to play third, I don't know if Bregman is willing to, go to first or something, or, if he even can, or is he down to DH? And if he's DHing, is he really worth that money? I don't know. I kind of have this in the same vein as you, maybe C+, B-, but could turn out great. Could turn out an A, if he gets, reinvigorated, maybe plays off the green monster, like learns how to, use it.
In love with the DH spot and kind of like,
I don't know. Bro said I play third.
Yeah,
he wants to play third. We'll see. But yeah, we'll keep it moving. I honestly think, again, this is MLB.com's list. I think that might have been a little high for all the free agents out there to put him as the fifth best.
Free agents, as in like that's the fifth best free agent signing.
Yeah, that's where MLB.com has it.
Wild. I mean, Max Fried to the Yankees is a much more impactful signing. I'm sorry.
Well, what a natural transition. Number 6 is Max Fried, left-handed starting pitcher, 31 years old.
This guy's a hater. Whoever this guy that wrote this article, the Yankee hater. This guy's a dick.
8 years, $218 million. That's a good.
That's a lot of money. It's the most money
contract.
ever given to a lefty. It's a lot of money.
I think that's a good. I mean, he is 31 already, so it's not like Soto at age 26. But I mean, 8 years. That's less than $30 million a year, right around
like 28, 29. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's, I think, even a little less.
Good.
But
Fried's a live arm. We needed a lefty badly. I think our rotation can be really, really, really good if Clark Schmidt can stay healthy. I think between Cole, Schmidt, Fried, and what's his name? The other lefty. It's just slipping my brain right now.
Nestor?
No. What's his name? Who they signed to money also. Who was
the lefty on the Yankees?
Yeah. You're gonna know it. It's like the most obvious guy, lefty Yankees.
They signed him this offseason?
No, I think it was last or the year before. Year before, maybe. What's his name? Oh my god.
Yankees lefty.
Yeah. Help me out here. Oh my lord.
All right, you just talk about Fried. I'll figure it out.
I'm gonna get it in a second. Carlos Rodon. Sorry about that. But anyway.
Okay. Yeah.
And then you have Luis Hill, who I believe won Rookie of the Year. So they have some pitchers here. If they can stay healthy, and then they got Devin Williams in the bullpen. The Yankees made some nice moves. I feel like they'll be competitive. I feel like their team is different than what I thought they were going to be. Obviously, going into this offseason, I had no idea what to expect. And they've done their best patchwork I've seen in a minute. I feel like Cashman's job and nutsack is on the line for real, actually. So he had to go balls to the wall. But in terms of Fried, I feel like he's a good 2. I feel like if we signed him to be our ace, that would have been a mistake. So it's good to have him with Cole, with Heel, with Rodon, and then throw in a little bit of Clark Schmidt. Hopefully, if he can get back healthy, that'd be great. Because I don't want Stroman pitching for the Yankees again. I don't like his comments. I don't like his thoughts about I'm not a guy that can come out of the bullpen. I'm a starter. I'm only a starter. Like, shut the fuck up, bro. Okay. Even Dwayne Wade for the Olympics came off the bench. So learn your role in the postseason. Understand it's about winning World Series. It's not about you. That's why I don't like me guys. I never liked the Stroman signing. So I'm excited about a guy like Fried. I think he can help our team and get some of that fat off that fucking rotation.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I don't really like Stroman either. He was a Met also. He was good. He's a great fielder. That's the one thing positive I'll say about him. But other than that, he's not overpowering. He's short. Doesn't have the best stuff.
He talks more than his game is.
Yeah, he's competitive. I mean, we also saw that with the Mets with Taijuan Walker. Then he goes to the Phillies and sucks. It's the same kind of shit. Yeah, not a big fan. As for Fried, he's a great pitcher, but coming off his worst ERA season, probably his worst season overall, moving to Yankee Stadium, short porch, from one of the bigger ballparks in the game in Atlanta. I am nervous about the fly ball rate, about, carrying in New York with the short porch. So we'll see how that goes. Then again, they have, good lineup and good pitchers around him. He does have Garrett Cole in front of him, so he doesn't have to lead the rotation, which is big. So I think it's a great signing. Like I said, the price is great. I think, and
he's a lefty in that stadium. So the short porch that's on that side, even though the other side is still decently short anyway, it's all short in the stadium.
I mean, but even guys going the other way,
exactly.
We talked about Soto earlier. I mean, Soto's home runs and, spring training all have seemed to go the other way. It's like, that's like the new thing. It's like
levels out fastballs. Like, it's disgusting.
I remember early 2000s, Greg Vaughn hitting off a tee from like behind the plate almost, where like it's deep in the strike zone already, to practice like driving for power the other way. And I feel like that has really translated.
I remember, right? Greg Vaughn, Great Angel. Is that right?
I don't think so.
Which Vaughn am I thinking of? I'm thinking of a Mo Vaughn. I'm thinking
Mo Vaughn. You're thinking of Mo Vaughn. Mo Vaughn's a lefty, but Greg Vaughn played for the Padres, the Reds.
Yeah. I got it.
It's like a 50 home run. That year that McGuire and Sosa had like 60 and 70, he had like 50 home runs. Like no one cared because, that was the juice ball era.
Did he get?
I don't know if Greg Vaughn was juicing, to be honest. He might have. Probably, but I don't know.
That guy was a big boy too.
Mo Vaughn was big, but he was fat though, so I don't know.
Yeah.
But then again, Fernando Vina and Andy Pettit were juicing. You can't even judge by body types anymore.
Jeff Bagwell was fat. He was juicing.
I don't know if Jeff Bagwell was juicing. I don't want to.
He was part of the bulky thing, I thought.
No, he wasn't in the Mitchell report because he's in the Hall of Fame already. If he was, he wouldn't be.
Oh, he is in the Hall.
Yeah. Jeff Bagwell's a Hall of Famer already.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. I think he
Biggio
was
is not in the Hall of Fame, and he was a steroid guy.
I think Biggio is in the Hall of Fame, and I don't think he's a steroid guy.
Huh.
I think all those guys who were named in that report, besides David Ortiz, are out of the Hall of Fame, which is crazy that David Ortiz still gets into the Hall of Fame. Now it's like David Ortiz should open the floodgates now, though, because David Ortiz took steroids. We know it; it's a fact. So Manny Ramirez should get in, Alex Rodriguez should get in, Mark McGwire should get in, Sammy Sosa, Barry Bonds. Like, let's go. If David Ortiz is in, all those guys should be in. But I mean, just a couple other we could just go over. Just kind of list them real quick to not keep this going forever. We kind of hinted towards a couple. The next on the list is Santander to the Blue Jays. I mean, the ultimate. It's a good deal. I mean, he's less than $20 million a year, 5 years, $92.5 million. But the Blue Jays are basically second or third place on every prospect ahead of Santander on that list. Right. And then also second place on the next guy, who is Pete Alonso, going back to New York, 2 years, $54 million. Love that as a Mets fan. Kind of figured that was always going to happen. I think Pete never wanted to leave the Mets. I think the only reason it got dragged out so long is Scott Boras is going to Scott Boras. Yep. That's how he operates. Next up is Willy Adames. I think he's maybe a little high on this list, but maybe I just don't give him the proper credit.
Right? That was out here to the Bay, right?
Yes, to the Giants. 7 years, $182 million. I just don't give him his credit that he's due, because like he's getting the numbers. He's playing well. I know he's a good fielding shortstop, and I know he was on Rob's fantasy team, and he did some damage. So maybe I just don't view him as good as he is, but he did have 32 homers, 112 RBIs. Good for the Giants. The Giants are another team kind of sneaky like the Red Sox, I think, are kind of coming up. Might surprise some people this year. We mentioned briefly before, Jack Flaherty back to the Tigers, 29 years old. 2 years, $35 million. Again, I think kind of a masterclass by the Tigers here.
Tigers also signed Gleyber Torres. That's an interesting signing. As much as Gleyber gets hate in New York, he was great in the playoffs for us. That could spur him into a great type of new. He's like not in the limelight anymore. He can kind of just chill and play baseball. That might unlock something in Gleyber.
Hey, the Tigers smoked the Orioles. They gave the Indians the Guardians, excuse me. They gave the Guardians all they could handle, in that series. They got Tariq Skubal, they get Jack Flaherty back, and they add Gleyber Torres to a team that already has Riley.
I think they added Alex Cobb too, I believe.
To a team that already has Riley Green and Spencer Torkelson and these young guys who are good players. So I think that that's a great. I give that an A for sure. Tanner Scott is number 11 here. We mentioned him briefly. Yep. Shane Bieber coming off Tommy John, was his first two starts was literally 12 innings, 20 strikeouts, 2-0, like a 1 ERA, was great, and then obviously gets hurt. Sucks. Christian Walker, 3 years, $60 million to the Astros. Love this deal. Didn't know Christian Walker was 34.
Yeah, so old. Holy shit. Because I was tracking him for the Yankees. I thought we were talking about it, I think, at one point.
For the Yankees. Yeah, he'd be great for the Yankees.
Yeah, I thought he was like a Yankee. Like, he looked like a Yankee. And, I believe last year during the season, they were talking about trying to trade for him. If I remember right, they were during the playoff, but right before the playoff run was about to hit, they were talking about it. So
I'm a big Christian Walker fan. Great fielder, big-time power. I just didn't know that he was that old. So that kind of surprised me to see he was 34, because I feel like he must have broke out his late 20s, early 30s. And when I mean broke out, I mean got to the majors. Like,
where's Kyle Tucker on this fucking list, dude?
He was a trade.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Yeah, from the Astros to the Cubs. And then we got Eovaldi to the Rangers, or back to the Rangers, I guess. Teoscar Hernandez back to the Dodgers. Michael Wacha, not a fan, don't really care. Ha-Sung Kim, you mentioned earlier. Carlos Estevez was good last year for the Angels, but kind of stunk for the Phillies. So he went to the Royals, 2 years, $22 million. Clay Holmes to the Mets. Your boy, 3 years, $38 million. I like the price tag. I guess he's a good 4 or 5 in the rotation guy. Wants to be a starter.
Don't put him in the highest leverage of situations, but if you need innings and you need a little length.
I think he's going to start. I think the plan is to start him.
That's the way to do it.
Kikuchi, another kind of older guy, 34, 3 years, $63 million. The starting pitchers are getting paid. Your boy Gleyber, you mentioned, he's only 28.
I'm saying, and the new, bro, it's scary.
But he's on a 1 year prove it deal with the Tigers, $15 million. Tyler O'Neill, 30 years old, 3 years, $49 million to the Orioles. Excuse me. I like that deal. Not crazy about it.
Not crazy.
Sean Manaea, 3 years, $75 million to the Mets. 33 years old, but had an amazing season, and it didn't seem like luck. It seemed like he made a change to his game with the cross-body throw. He made a change to his game. He throws way different release point now across his body. He practices throwing to the opposite side, bullpen catcher. He made a huge adjustment, and who he modeled that after was in-division guy Chris Sale. Obviously another lefty who throws that long across his body motion. And Chris Sale was the Cy Young winner last year, so I like it. I'm very happy to see Manaea returning to New York.
Live actually for the Giants the year before, like 2 years ago with Chris, and we were watching him, and he was impressive for like four. They got trounced in the first 2 innings, so they pulled the starter, and Manaea came in as the long reliever. If I'm not mistaken, I think was what happened, and he like had 4 or 5 innings where he was just mowing through. Like
he was always a big prospect too.
Great.
Yeah, he was a big prospect coming up. So last year, kind of finally put it all together, and I'm very happy to have him back on the Mets. 24 on this list, I think, is kind of crazy. Max Scherzer, 1 year, $15.5 million to the Blue Jays, 40 years old. I mean, is there a Hall of Fame pitcher who played on more teams than Max Scherzer?
No,
I don't think so. I think Mets, Rangers, Nationals, Tigers, Astros. Now Blue Jays, Astros. Dodgers? We might be missing some. Maybe Dodgers. I don't even know, to be honest.
I think the Dodgers are on there. I think he did play for the Dodgers.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Honestly, sounds right. But I'm not sure.
Why do I feel like Judge homered off of him when he was pitching for the Dodgers in the All-Star game?
Yeah, trust me, I wouldn't doubt it. I'm just not positive of it. I think you're right. I'm just not sure.
I don't know.
But that's a lot of teams for a Hall of Fame pitcher,
Yeah, and he's definitely a Hall of Fame pitcher. Not even, no doubt. The Phillies had some nice ads. I want to comment on some guys, and you can let me know where they are on this list. But like Kepler, Luzardo, they signed Jordan Romano too. Like the Phillies are going to be a good team, bro. They're going to be.
The Phillies are already good, but I don't think they added anybody special. They're going to
be a good.
Go back to the well, relying on Trey Turner playing him at shortstop where he struggles at. I mean, I think they are a little handcuffed there. Obviously, Bryce is a beast.
Yeah.
I mean, I think. It's one of those things, like nothing changes. If nothing changes, they've fallen short the last couple of years. I don't think Luzardo, Kepler, Romano are guys that are going to push them over the top, especially when they lose. Like they lose Estevez, they get Romano. That's an even sweep. They lose Kerkering, they get Luzardo. One of them's a starter, one of them's a reliever. I get it, but it's kind of like, all right, Orion Kerkering, I honestly think is probably the worst loss in Estevez, even though Estevez is a signing here. That shows this MLB.com list might be a little bunk, or I might be wrong, obviously, of course.
Yeah.
And then, Kepler is a decent outfielder. Like, they got Hayes last year in the middle of the year as their big move from Orioles. Seems very similar to that. Like, Austin Hayes, Kepler, guys who maybe can make the All-Star game when they have a hot first half one year, but are never, like, one of those elite players in the league, really. Kind of just good guys.
They're just good pros, yeah.
They're just guys. The last on this list is Jurickson Profar. A guy who's always kind of good, but never kind of great. Another guy, he made his first All-Star team last year, kind of similar to the Kepler and Hayes vein. But, he's with the Braves now.
By the way, to the Giants, by the way.
Yeah, another kind of not quite with Scherzer, who he did play for the Dodgers and also Arizona. So just been fucking everywhere.
Making moves for the Giants as their new GM. Here we go.
I didn't even know Buster Posey was the GM. That's cool.
Yeah.
But I mean that's the top 25 list.
Love it.
Let's get into it. Fucking the Hotz corner.
We're here. Let me pull my list up. I got some trivia for you as well. Do you want to start with one trivia, do some Hotz corner, and then do the second trivia?
Let's do the Hotz corner, then do the trivia at the end before we get into the wrap.
You got it. All right. So first one. Mount Rushmore of goalies post 2000.
Post 2000. Jonathan Quick, Ryan Miller.
Hold on.
Jean-Sebastien Giguère. And I'm trying to think of, like, I think early 2000s he was still around. There's a couple guys that were like, I'm going to leave out the Patrick Waz, the Martin Brodeurs, who are like most, like their heyday would be like the 90s in my opinion. So I'll skip those guys, and I'll go with one of the more recent ones. And I'm trying to think.
Henrik? No.
Yeah, then Lundqvist. Yeah, I was debating, but just because he didn't win one, but yeah, King Henrik. Fuck it, I love him still.
Who's the biggest snub you can remember from any All-Star game in your life, anytime, ever?
Well, I guess it's not in my life, but Kirk Gibson won the MVP.
No, in your life. Has to be in your life. All
life.
Right.
Well, Kirk Gibson won the MVP and didn't make the All-Star team, so that's pretty crazy. Biggest All-Star snub. I can't tell you the year, but I remember Dame didn't make one. But honestly, I'll go. You know what? I'll go just one that I know for sure. The year was last year. Trae Young.
Cool. All right. All-time Mets team. One person at each position. Run it.
All right. Starting pitcher is Tom Seaver. Catcher is Piazza.
Whoa!
Seaver got into the fucking Hall of Fame with the highest percentage of votes for anyone ever until Mariano Rivera got 100%. Like, what are we talking about? You know, Tom Seaver is definitely better than Jacob deGrom, as great as he is. It's not even close.
I know. Go ahead.
Tom Seaver, and then catcher is Piazza. First base, I'm not going to do anybody who just went there late in their career. It's got to be like as their time as a Met.
It's up to you. Yes, that's your own protocol.
Yeah, so I'm going to go.
Team.
Yeah. So first base, I'll go Alonso. Second base, it's going to be my personal favorite, Edgardo Alfonso.
My boy.
Shortstop.
Ooh,
Shortstop is tough. I'm going to go again, more personal to me, Ray Ordonez. No, I'm going Jose Reyes. Fuck it. I'm going Reyes. And then third base, David Wright. Center field, I'm going to go Tommy Agee. Right field, I'm going to go There's a few running through my head right now. Right field, Strawberry, I guess. I don't know if he's more left or right. I'm just going to go Strawberry.
Probably more left, but it's okay.
And then left field, I'll just go corner outfielders. I'm not going to try and drill it down to right and left. The other outfielder, I'll go with, I want to say Kevin Mitchell, but I don't know if he was there long enough.
So you have Tommy Agee, right?
Yeah, Tommy Agee in center.
Cool. Strawberry, and then who's the last outfielder?
Yeah, I'm thinking right now. I'm going with
Benny Agbayani.
Nah, I think I'm going to go with Kevin Mitchell. I loved Kevin Mitchell.
Ooh, that's a nice name.
He had like a sick one-handed catch one time, like barehanded.
I've seen that highlight.
Yeah.
Top 3 sports podcasts.
And then closer, I'll go John Franco.
Franco? Yeah, I figured. Yeah, that's cool. Okay. We'll get into that later. Top 3 sports podcasts right now that you would say.
I got to go. Part of my take is the one. They're the GOAT right now for sure. I love those guys. Sports podcasts. I'm trying to think like sports heavy. I mean, I don't want to be too Barstool stooly, but I do love mostly sports on Barstool also. And then I don't know if I could do like the Locked On network as a whole, but I love like Locked On Cowboys, Locked On Mets. They're like short form, like 30 minutes daily about specific teams.
Yeah, Locked On Dailies. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, and the last question of the Hotz Corner, based on some of the comments I've been seeing in the media recently today, harder to be a pitcher and a batter in baseball or offense and defense in football?
I would say offense and defense in football.
Okay. Do you want to go through that first, or you want to do the quiz?
No, we'll do the trivia, and then we'll talk about those answers.
All right, cool. So, since we're in baseball theme today, we're doing a little baseball preview. All the quizzes will be based on baseball. So, all time, there have been 9 guys that have at least 3,400 hits in their career. Name those 9 guys.
Are we saying Ichiro's Japanese hits too, or no?
No.
Okay. Pete Rose,
1,
Ty Cobb,
2,
Rogers Hornsby.
not here.
Honus Wagner.
Number 8.
So that how many guys are there?
9.
Okay.
So that's good. That's you have 3 so far.
Honus Wagner. Cal Ripken. Probably too many walks.
He's 16.
Okay. Tony Gwynn.
He's 22.
God, I'm thinking long ass careers. Shit.
Those guys don't even have the longest careers of the guys in this top part category.
Yeah. No, I'm trying.
You guys have a couple more years on them.
Yeah, this is long. There's a lot of older players. I'm trying to think. All right, I have 3 so far of 9, so I at least want to get to 5. A lot of old heads.
Mix. So there's number 9 is a famous name in history, but it's an older player. Number 6 is a guy that you would know for sure, should know, obviously. It's like
I'm just all right. I got an idea. All right,
it's a mixed bag. It's a mixed bag. There's a lot of classic names here, but classic names that I still think John Hotz.
I think Hank Aaron.
Correct. Number 3.
Hank Aaron. Nap LaJoy.
Don't see his name.
Okay, all right. That was a stretch. Man, 34. That's a lot of fucking hits.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing Ichiro didn't get the 3,400 as a major.
No.
Right. I just did a make sure I didn't talk myself.
3,089.
Yeah, I didn't make sure I didn't want to talk myself out of that. All right, so I got 4 right now. I mean, Babe Ruth? He pitched for too long.
No. Do you want some clues? You want some clues?
No, let me go a little longer.
I'll give you a team. I'll throw you a team for one.
Let me go a little longer first.
Okay.
Craig Biggio? He's got to be close. He's 3,000 hits. 26. All right, I'll take some hints.
All right, cool. So number 4 is all-time Cardinal.
All-time Cardinal. Musial.
There you go. Okay, cool. Perfect. Number 6 is every single girl's favorite player.
Every single girl's favorite. Derek Jeter?
There you go.
Oh, yeah. Wow. I didn't know he got that many. Jesus.
Yeah, right. 34.65. He has 6th all-time in hits. In only 20 seasons. Everyone around him has at least 2 seasons ahead of him. Isn't that crazy?
Wow, that is crazy.
Yeah, really. Honestly, as much as people think he's overrated, I feel like that comes with the underrated because it's like he's unbelievable.
Well, he just was a terrible defensive shortstop for the last 10 years of his career.
He made up like a move, and everyone. That. All right. Anyway, number 9 is there's a song in the movie Fever Pitch that's based off of him.
Just give me a team, bro. I don't know.
Red Sox. I said Fever Pitch. So.
All right. Yeah, Stremski.
Yeah. Exactly.
All right.
Number 8 is a famous baseball name in history. Let me see if I'll give you his. Let's see if they have his real name here. No. Team is Pittsburgh Pirates mainly.
Roberto Clemente. No, he died. Pittsburgh Pirates. Stargell.
Nope.
Kiner. No, too much of a home run hitter.
Nah. This guy played in the 1900s, by the way.
Okay. Pirates. 1900s Pirates?
Yeah, like 1908. He played for the Pirates. Legend.
Jim Thorpe?
No.
I don't know. I'm trying to think.
Honus Wagner. Honus Wagner.
I said Honus Wagner, you dick.
I don't think you said his name, no.
I said Honus Wagner was before I said, yes, I did. We could rewind the tape. I said Honus Wagner.
All right, we'll rewind the tape. I didn't hear you say his name, but I'll take
you said Honus Wagner was second.
No, Ty Cobb is second.
Yeah, I said Honus Wagner and Rogers Hornsby. I said Honus Wagner, and then I said Rogers Hornsby.
You definitely said Rogers Hornsby. I didn't hear Honus Wagner.
I for sure said
I'll take your word
Honus
for it.
Wagner.
I'll take your word. I'll take your word for it.
I mean, it's on the tape. We'll watch it back after.
Okay. All right, cool. And number 7, I have no idea who this person is, and he played for 27 seasons. I assume that's a record.
What's a team?
The team, his picture is insane. The Cubs, mostly. 1800s.
Oh, 1800s. That's crazy.
Baseball's the best, man.
Oh yeah, baseball is some crazy. Like if he played in the 1800s, like he was like these stats are so reliable.
All right, can I just tell you this guy's name? It's disgusting. Like,
give me a first name and see if I can get the last name.
All right, Cap.
Anson.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. The number 5 also have no idea who this person is. Played in the 1900s into the 19 teens, into the Great Depression.
What
2 years had a WAR of over 10. Boston and Cleveland.
Give me the first name. I'll give you the last name.
I can't pronounce it. Tris?
All right.
Or Tris? Tris. I'll just give you the spelling at least.
Oh, Speaker.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
That's the list. So let's just review. Pete Rose, Ty Cobb, Hank Aaron, Henry Aaron, Stan Musial, Trace Speaker, Derek Jeter, Cap Anson, Honus Wagner, Carl Yastrzemski are the top 9.
I said Honus Wagner before I said Roger Hornsby for sure.
Okay. Take your word for it. Number 10 on this list, right behind them, by the way, just to throw his name out there, is Albert Pujols, another Cardinal.
Yeah, I almost guessed Pujols, but I just didn't think he had too much power. Just got to throw a lot of walks. Jeter, honestly, is like obviously Cap Anson. I need a first name for, but like I said, I knew it was going to be a lot of guys from that.
Jeter was surprising, I'm sure.
Like, yeah, because you got to think post 1990. Is he the only one?
Pujols, we just said, right? So
I'm saying he wasn't in the 9, Pujols.
Oh yeah. Oh, in the 9. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, he's the only modern day player in the top 9.
Yeah, because Pete Rose started in like the late 60s or 70s.
Yeah, he's the only one.
Yeah, so he's the only guy post 1990 debut. His rookie season was 95.
Yep.
And he's that's honestly, yeah, that's really impressive. Honestly, I'll give him that. And what's the other one?
And in 20 seasons, so Pete Rose 24 seasons, Cobb 24, Henry Aaron 23, Musial 22, Speaker 22, Jeter 20. Anson 27.
Yeah.
Wagner had 21 seasons, so he's like right behind with Jeter, and then Yastrzemski 23. Pujols 22 as well.
Cap Anson and Tris Speaker. That was a good. I'll take those last name polls.
Crazy you pulled those. All right, let's move on to the next.
But we did like Treese. I was like, I don't know what the fuck this
trivia is fucking hard, man. When I was looking at this, I was like, I'm curious to know what you know of this because
Treese was crazy. I try to keep them like more modern, but that's hard. That's good.
These are hard. This is hard.
I'm proud of that one, honestly. I think I did great.
You did decent. I think
I did great on that one. I think most people. No one knows. No one's getting Anson from Cap. No one's getting Speaker from Tris.
Yeah. Not knowing Jeter, I guess that's a tough thing, but like, I don't know.
I just didn't. I'm surprised. Like I said, I'm surprised he had that many hits. 3,400. I did not know that.
All right. Let's move on to the next one. So the next thing I wanted to go over is the top 9 pitchers in history that have at least 350 wins. There's 9 guys.
Oh man, I think Greg Maddux just got it.
Yeah, he's number 8, 355.
There's obviously Cy Young.
Yeah, he's number 1, 511 wins. That will never be broken. Oh my god.
This is going to be another one of those where there's a lot of old guys. Randy Johnson.
Randy, in terms of wins, is number 22. He has 303. He just
okay. All right, give me Nolan Ryan.
Number 14, 324.
Okay. All right, I'm going to go older guys. Walter Johnson.
Nice. Number 2 all time, 417.
Okay, I got to go old heads. All right, Walter Johnson. Christy Mathewson.
Tied for number 3 all time at 373 with another guy. Only in 17 seasons too. That's
I got to go because they just pitched the whole game and there was no relievers. So you get more wins.
Yeah, to just give you like something, there's only one other modern day player on this list with Greg Maddux.
Okay. So Greg Maddux. All right, hang on. How many do I have right now?
So I have Maddux number 8. You have Cy Young at number 1, Walter Johnson at number 2, and Christy Mathewson, who's tied for number 3.
All right. And by modern, you mean played in the 90s or later?
Right. Yeah.
Okay. All right. The other one from the 90s or later. Give me a second here. All right. I'm going to go back to old heads real quick. Give me Warren Spahn.
He's somewhere. I saw his name. Oh, number 6. There we go. 363. Very nice.
Give me Juan Marichal.
I don't see his name. No, not in the top 30.
Damn, Juan Marichal, not in the top 30. Give me. Whew.
I'm like quadruple checking because of what happened before. I'm just making sure.
No, you're good. You're good. I don't think this is right, but I'm gonna guess it. Whitey Ford.
No, I don't think he has 300
no,
wins.
I don't think he has it either. I'm trying to think of old head pitchers. Bob Feller.
No.
Not Bob Feller. I'll do 3 more guesses before I start asking for hints.
Cool.
350 wins. Bob Feller, no. Ferguson Jenkins?
No.
No, that's not going to be right. I mean, I said him earlier. Tom Seaver?
Number 18. 311.
350 is a lot of fucking wins. Jesus. Glavine? Nah, he didn't have more than Maddox.
Yeah, he's 305. To number 21 all time. Just ahead of Randy Johnson.
I'm thinking of who has the other one who played in the 90s. Man. I don't think it's Clemens. I don't think it's Mussina. I don't think it's... So I guess 2 more, so I have 1 more guess before I get hints.
Okay.
You just hit me with the makes me think maybe I'm fucking up. Pedro Martinez? All right, then I'll guess Clemens, and Clemens is in there.
Number 9. 354. Yeah. He has 1 less win than Greg Maddux. Yep.
Wow, impressive. All right, give me some hints for the other guys. So what do I have?
All right, here
6,
we go.
5 or 6 right now.
So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 right now.
Okay, so I need 3 more.
All right, so we'll go with the guy that's also tied for number 3 all time. You said Christy Mathewson. The other guy played for the Phillies and the Cubs and the Cardinals. He played in the teens, 20s, and 30s.
Jermaine's saying we're not live.
What happened?
Jermaine's saying we're not live.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, I can look on my phone real quick.
I can see it. I see it top left. It says live.
It says live, but I just want to make sure if I go to YouTube on my phone, if we're live. Yeah, we're live. I don't know what the fuck Jermaine's. Oh, no, this is an old one. Streamed a month ago. Oh, yeah, we're live right now. Fuck the Jermaine. Right? Yeah. Let me look at us live.
You can see us?
Oh, no, it's saying waiting for row 26, March 26. Maybe it's just, I don't know.
But it says we're live on here. That's so weird.
Yeah.
We're live.
Yeah, but it's not working on my phone for some reason.
Oh, no, I see it on my computer right now. It says we are.
Yeah, but that's... Really? So it's working on your computer?
Yeah, I hear it.
All right, because I'm on it right now. It's saying waiting for row 26, March 2nd, 2025 at 3 o'clock.
It's live. It said it was live, and I see a viewer right now also on YouTube.
That's me. That's me.
Yeah, and I was just on YouTube just now.
Hang on. I'm just going to look on YouTube on my laptop real quick and see if that works.
I'm doing it on my phone, too. Maine's got us fucked up right now. It says live right now.
It says live, but when I went to click it, it went in and it wasn't showing.
Yeah. I see it. Because you're clicking on an old episode.
No, I clicked on this one. Let me see real quick on my laptop.
No, we're definitely live. The kid's a bonehead. You hear the echo?
Yeah, I hear it now. Let me see. It looks like it's working on my laptop. Yeah, we're up to 15 subscribers, bro. We're fucking kicking off. Hey, I see us. Yeah.
We're here. You know what I'm saying?
That's hilarious. All right, Maine, we're live, bro. Maybe your phone ain't working. Fuck you.
I'm sending it again. I'll send it.
All right. Let me know the guy that you were. I guess back to the hints. Whenever you're ready. Maine got us fucked up.
Okay. Bonehead. All right. So this guy, yeah. I don't even have to give you hints.
All right.
His first name is Grover.
Grover Alexander.
Yeah, that's right. How the fuck?
I'm a fucking beast with the first name to last name.
Random last name. All right. Anyway, yeah, 373 also. All right, moving on to the next guy. The next guy, I have no idea who the fuck this is. This guy played in the 1800s. His first name is the giveaway. So his last name is Galvin. What's his first name?
Galvin. His last name is Galvin?
Yeah. What's his first name? His first name is the weird one. That's why I can't tell you it.
I don't know. I don't think I would have got it either way. You give me that one. I don't know.
Pud Galvin.
Yeah, I wouldn't have gotten Pud.
Yeah, he played in 1875 was his first season as an 18-year-old. And then he went to war. And he came back as a 22-year-old in 1879 and played. And he played till he was 35. And
yeah. There's another podcast that does like old baseball stories, so I don't want to fucking steal their gimmick. But yeah, they're fucking wild.
Yeah. Unbelievable. But yeah, so Pud Galvin, and then who's the last guy? Let's see. Yeah,
it's probably 7th. Is the one I didn't get?
That's right, number 7, and another guy. His last name is Nichols. First name is Giveaway.
His last name is Nichols.
Yeah,
I don't know this one either. Honestly,
Kid Nichols. He started in 1890.
Even if you gave me Kid or Pud, I wouldn't have got the last names of those ones. Those are hard.
All right, so yeah, to just round that out, just in terms of that full list. Cy Young, Walter Johnson, Grover Alexander, and Christy Matheson tied for 3rd. Pud Galvin, Warren Spahn, Kid Nichols, Greg Maddux, Roger Clemens.
Yeah, I'm pretty good. I feel good about that too.
Not bad.
Yeah, I guess the only one was like Jeter. I just honestly had no clue he had that many hits. Because I feel like I remember his 3,000th hit being like a home run. And I guess he had a lot of career after that. His 3,000th hit was a home run, no?
I know. Yeah, who? Jeter? Yeah.
Yeah. I remember that.
It was a home run. I watched it while I was at work. I
didn't realize he played like 2 or 3 seasons after that. Must have been 3 seasons, unless he had 200 hits a year. It's like, wow. Yeah. I felt like later in his career to me, but memory disserves you sometimes.
Crazy. Shouts to Jeter. All right, let's go back to your questions here. Mount Rushmore of goalies after the year 2000. You said Quick, Miller, Shijar, or whatever you pronounce that.
Jean-Sebastien Giguère, JSG.
Giguère, and Henrik
Lundqvist, the one dude who doesn't have a championship on that list.
True. Yeah, I like the list. Any other special considerations you were thinking about?
Well, I guess just because of early 2000s guys that I mentioned, like Patrick Waugh, Martin Brodeur, Dominic Hasek probably played a little bit into the 2000s.
Yeah.
Some of these newer guys, Hollabook, obviously showing out, Vezina Trophy winner these past couple of years. No one else really jumping out at the top of my list. I really like Jonathan Quick, though. I think he's a good ambassador for the game, good American. Ryan Miller, another one, good American goalie. I like that America's starting to kind of take the lead in goalies.
Yeah. Fuck yeah. All right, cool. Moving on. Who's the biggest snub you can remember from any sport in your life? You said Trae Young. I like that, honestly. Trae Young seems to get tons of stats.
He was 25-10 going into the All-Star break last year. I don't think you can find another 25-10 guy who didn't make an All-Star team. I get it. He doesn't play good defense. But still, they had like Jaylen Brown at like 21-4 over him in the All-Star game. And I guess it's also about – and the Hawks stink, whatever. But guess what? Trae Young brought the Hawks to a conference final. Let's not forget.
Was it conference finals or semifinals?
I thought they played in the conference finals because didn't they beat the Sixers to get to the conference finals?
I think they beat the Knicks for sure in that series, but I don't know if they won the following. You might be right. Conference finals, really?
Yeah, that's conference crazy. Finals, 2021, Hawks versus Bucks, conference finals. So, and he's obviously the best player on that team going to a conference final. I think he's a little underrated, Trae Young, and I get why, because he's small, but he's a baller, bro. He just puts the ball in the net. Like, if he won, he'd be a lot closer to Steph Curry than he is not an all-star. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, if they won a championship, if he was on a better team, built around, like, I'm not saying he's as good as Steph Curry.
Also, just an ugly dude, too, so he's, like, not marketable.
Yeah, he's got, like, bad hair.
He's just weird.
Shat Miller's like him because he has bad hair like me. So I'm fucking
on his head or something. I've seen people say it's fucking
weird. It looked like he got the plugs, but his hair still looks shitty. It's like one of those guys.
Yeah, I don't know. I hate him, but I respect his game. He's a baller.
He should have been an all-star over Jaylen Brown last year. I'll stand by that take. And I know Jaylen Brown's a great player, and I know he plays good defense, but the all-star game should be a little bit about like showy and putting up the stats.
He's great for the all-star game. Remember that whole thing with Luka, and when Luka hit the half-court shot, and they were laughing at half-court and all that shit. All the guys that can make it rain from 50 feet are the guys that should be in the all-star game.
I know Trae Young's made it before. I'm not trying to say like he's always getting snubbed. He's a 4-time All-Star.
25 and 10 and not making the All-Star game is fucking egregious. This year, I was going to say Sabonis this year is disgusting, not making the All-Star game. It
was 2022, 2023. He was 26 and 10 and didn't make the All-Star team.
This reminds me of Sabonis, who
that's a top 10 scorer and a top 10 and the top 3 assist guy, and not making the All-Star team.
This season, going into the All-Star break, Sabonis led the league in double-doubles, was top 3 in triple-doubles, was like a 24 and 12 guy, and didn't make the All-Star team.
Yeah, that's a big time snub, Sabonis for sure. That's another good one. No one gets snubbed in the NFL because by the time the Pro Bowl happens, no one wants to be in it, and the Super Bowl teams, all their players don't play in it.
I remember four-time Pro Bowler. Let's be clear.
So I love how you say that.
Find the 4 seasons. I want you to find them.
You'll die on the hill that Eli Manning is a surefire Hall of Famer, but at the same time, you'll admit he shouldn't have even been a 4-time Pro Bowler.
Correct.
Because
it's storybook stuff for me with the Super Bowls versus like the 2 years he really earned the Pro Bowl versus the other 2 years where he was.
But you want to hear the worst Pro Bowler of all time?
I need it.
Tyler Huntley.
Woo!
On the Ravens.
Huntley made the fucking Pro Bowl.
He played 6 games total. Was 4 times a starter, 2-2 as a starter, 75 completions for 658 yards, 2 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. I can look up his running numbers, not to totally shit on him.
There's no reason to look those up. You have
43 carries, 137 yards, 1 touchdown. He was a Pro Bowler in 2022. That's how many people didn't want to play in it. They got all the way down to Tyler Huntley. Tyler Huntley, Pro Bowl player.
For the Cleveland Browns?
No, this is when he was on the Dolphins or the Ravens. The
Ravens. How was the Ravens?
It was the Ravens.
Did Lamar get hurt that year?
Yeah, that's when Lamar missed time. He's only been a backup his career. Like I said, he's 2-2 as a starter, and he's never played for the Browns. You jackwagon.
Huntley?
Yeah.
Oh, that's Dorian Thompson, whatever. Never mind.
Were you about to say Dorian Finney-Smith from Kansas in the NBA?
Yeah, Dorian Thompson, whatever.
Dorian Thompson-Robinson, DTR.
From
UCLA. Yeah. But yeah, no, he's only ever played for Baltimore and then Miami this past year as a very weird backup for Tua.
That Miami team is weird.
Yeah.
What is your all-time Mets team? And all right, let's go through this. So starting pitcher, Seaver, Piazza, catcher, Alonso. I wrote Alonso twice by accident. I don't know why my phone did that. Alfonso is
second base.
Oh, Alfonso, excuse me. And then Alonso is first base. Pete Alonso, sorry.
Yes.
No John Olerud. Huh, okay.
No, definitely Alonso over Olerud.
Just kidding.
Olerud was only there for like 2 or 3 years, tops.
I just have always an affinity for Olerud because of the helmet hat.
I love John Olerud. He's a good player. He's a very good player for the Mets, but he only played there 3 seasons. But that 99 infield was one of my favorite infields of all time with John Olerud, Edgardo Alfonso, Ray Ordonez, and Robin Ventura. They had a grand total of 14 errors among the fucking 4 of them. It was fucking insane.
Ventura loved. I used to, when I played Little League, it
was more. That was like 19 errors. It was like Alfonso had 6, Ordonez had 4, Ventura had 4, and fucking what's his name had 5. Olerud. It was like that.
Ventura hit that crazy grand slam, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah, the grand single. Because they tackled him after the first, so it didn't count as a grand slam.
Ballistic watching that. Yeah. Distinctly.
Robin Ventura, sneaky. I think he was the all-time leader or second all-time in grand slams to Lou Gehrig, and just got passed up by maybe A-Rod. Sneaky hit a ton of grand slams.
Yeah, clutch player. I love the Jose Reyes. I mean, that guy was a fucking just fucking when he was playing at his peak, he was the
I'm glad
most electric baseball player you could ever watch in your life.
Well, I will say, Ray Ordonez was the best defensive shortstop I've ever seen. Like, I think he's like, I didn't watch Ozzie Smith play. Obviously, like, I'm too young. So there might be guys older. But the best day in and day out defensive shortstop I have ever seen. We're talking range. We're talking arm strength.
Everything.
We're talking not making errors on the easy routine plays.
10-time, I think, right? He's 10-time. What's it called? What did they call that?
Gold Glove.
Gold Glove, right?
I don't know if he's 10-time, but
that sounds almost familiar.
But he was special. And I think you brought it up, like Jeter just had the cool move where he jumped in through it, and everyone was like, oh, that's so good. Ray Ordonez slid in the hole and would scoop it and then stand up mad fast and rip it. Ray Ordonez was unbelievable.
Here's some stats, just for the record, for Ray Ordonez. He won 3 consecutive Gold Gloves from 97 to 99, okay? He had the fewest errors and was tied for the highest fielding percentage among qualified National League shortstops. He only committed 4 errors in 99 total.
That was the year I was talking about, that 99 infield, and I said 4 errors for Ray Ordonez.
Fucking wild, dude.
That's insane. Like, Derek Jeter has had over 20 errors multiple times.
Yeah, let's go to Ray Ordonez Baseball Reference and see how many Gold Gloves he had total.
He has 3. He only had the.
It
probably was for like that peak, like when he was such a bad hitter that like he probably couldn't start forever. But you know, defensively those 3 years there was nobody better that I've ever seen at shortstop. Nasty.
Yeah, nasty.
Third base, David Wright. I think that's pretty chalky.
Yep.
You know, there's Hojo, there's some other guys, but Ventura we mentioned already. But David Wright is that dude. I love David Wright, one of my favorite players all time.
For sure.
My sister
actually is a ton of character, by the way.
My sister was friends with David Wright's brother in college at JMU. Like they studied abroad together and everything. Yeah.
Cool. Very nice. Tommy Agee, you had center.
Yeah, old school. Got to throw it back to the old school. Pay respect. The other corner outfielder, I probably could have done that too with Cleon Jones, but I didn't want to get like too inside baseball.
Cool. I like Darryl. That's nice.
Yeah, Darryl Strawberry was a monster for the Mets. I mean, that 86 team doesn't win a championship without him. I guess the only thing I probably amend is first base going with Keith instead of.
I was just about to say, my dad is like right here. He's like, "Where's Keith Hernandez? Where's Keith Hernandez? Hello, hello."
But I just love Pete Alonso, and obviously Keith was great, but his MVP year was with the Cardinals, wasn't with the Mets. You know, his best batting seasons, at least, maybe weren't with the Mets.
Better fielder, though. I feel like you have plenty of bats here.
Much better. Yeah, I guess if I'm trying to win a game, I thought this was more like, who do I want to get? Yeah, if I'm like baseball simming a lineup as like to play a simulated game,
going in this lineup.
Yeah. But in terms of just like Pete Alonso has the Mets record for home runs in a season. He's first and second in Mets home runs in a season. 53 and 46. 53 home runs in your rookie year is pretty fucking special. Already has 226 home runs. Got to think that's in the top 10 as a Met.
Yeah, he'll finish with 300 in his career for sure.
Oh my God, he'll have that by 2 seasons from now.
Exactly. So just barring injury, he might be in that upper echelon of like exclusive club, like 400, 500 stuff maybe one day.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, as long I want to say 31 right now or something like that.
Something like that, 30, 31, yeah.
Yeah, he's 30. Yeah, he just turned 30 like a couple months ago. So he's going to get to 400 home runs. I'd be shocked if he doesn't.
It's just all about health at that point.
But he's only got 2 more years with the Mets unless they re-sign him again. So we'll see how it goes. But, I mean, 53 home runs.
We'll re-sign him again if you guys win. I think if you guys win a World Series, he'll be a Met for life. And he's part of it. I feel like that's the remedy there. Yeah,
shout out to some other just guys that were fun players, that probably don't get the love. Lucas Duda, the Ike Davises, the Daniel Murphys.
Daniel Murphy.
Yeah, obviously you mentioned DeGrom, Syndergaard, Harvey, those, Wheeler that time. Ron Darlings, Jesse Orozco, Pedro in his heyday, Mike Hampton, Al Leiter.
His name was on the tip of my tongue. Crazy.
Al Leiter.
Where's Al Leiter? Whoa!
He's not going to get it over receiver,
Yeah.
Armando Benitez was a hothead. He had some blow-ups, but was a great closer for a long time.
Yeah.
I was a big Benitez guy back in the day.
He was good.
There's tons. Like I said, Cleon Jones, Jerry Kuzman.
Like the John Franco though. You need that.
Yeah, John Franco. I had to throw that in there. Closer. Jerry Kuzman is another big one.
You had Kev Mitchell, by the way, in the other outfield spot, by the way.
Oh yeah, fucking hell yeah, love Kevin Mitchell. Yeah. Tug McGraw, Kevin McReynolds, Lenny Dykstra. A lot of great names.
Dykstra, great name. There we go.
Rusty Staub.
I don't know who that is.
Rusty Staub, he was also like a great guy. He like helped the firefighters in New York for a long time.
Oh, Carlos Delgado. Oh,
Carlos Beltran. I thought about Delgado and Beltran. I don't know. Beltran, I just think is a cheater now, so I don't really want to give him shine. You know, he pretty much orchestrated the whole Astros cheating scandal. So, yeah, kind of want to erase him from memory.
Even though he's an incredible switch hitter. My God.
Yeah.
Top 3 sports takes, and
I also saw Carlos Beltran in Game 7 against the Cardinals in the NLCS get struck out on 3 pitches, never take the bat off his shoulder. Well, he fouled one off, but on strike 3, didn't take the bat off his shoulder and just got struck out looking by Wainwright. Yeah, that was heartbreaking. So, gotta fucking swing the bat, bro. You gotta fucking swing the bat.
Yeah,
you have to I was there at Citi Field or Shea when that happened, dude. Crazy. One of the last games ever at Shea Stadium.
Jeez.
Andy Chavez had to fucking rob the home run and turn the double play.
God, Andy in left field.
I literally went from football practice, race to get to that game, get there as David Wright's hitting the RBI single at the beginning of the game. Then we don't fucking score the rest of the game. Aaron Heilman gives up the fucking home run to Yadier Molina. I hated Aaron Heilman. Never fucking liked Aaron Heilman. What the fuck was he doing in
names
the game?
When you pull these names out, it's like memory banks.
It's nostalgia.
Yeah, it's like just poof in my brain. I can just remember this. And like the Andy Chavez name that you just said was just fucking my brain.
Just like this is like that meme of like guys could just list fucking players. Like I go on just Mets player like Jay Payton,
Payton, center fielder, great player. Number 20, right? Is that right?
Yeah, bounced around. Number 20, Jay Payton. Like you said earlier, Agbayani, just like throwing.
Number 50.
When he'd come out to Benny and they like pumped in the audio to say Mets instead of Benny and the Jets. The old Elton John song. It'd be like, Benny and the Mets. Yeah. When he had a big hit, fucking Todd Hundley, Todd Pratt.
Backup catcher. Yeah.
Fuck yeah. A lot of great guys.
All right, so pardon my take. Mostly sports. Locked On Dailies were your top sports casts. Sports
podcast. Yeah, I'm not a big Bill Simmons. I never really liked The Athletic, The Ringer. I need like a little humor with my sports pods, so that's why
I like Pat and those boys. They're funny to me, even though
they're I mean, I might have to get them in my rotation. I'm like, what I also go through like, I actually left one off because honestly one of my favorite is MMA Roasted with my boy Adam Hunter. Like we actually talk. I've helped him with the podcast a few times. They're fucking hilarious. He's a comedian. And then he has, another comedian is usually on Bill Dawes. They used to have another guy, Greg Romero Wilson, who's super funny. And then he has former fighters. And it's some combination of Don Fry, who's like one of the fucking all-time UFC Hall of Famer, one of the and then Sean McCorkle, who had like a short UFC career, heavyweight. But he his first fight on short notice, tapped Mark Hunt, one like an elite fighter, and then he made it to the UFC basically by being a troll, like on Twitter and stuff, just talking shit. Like got a following through being like a shit talker, and but not just like a shit talker, but like funny and clever. And then Jason Mayhem Miller, another kind of legend of the game, who also he's had a lot of he's been in and out of prison and shit like that, but he was the host of Bully Beatdown famously. Okay. Jason Mayhem Miller, obviously had a fall from grace from that time, but now he's back and he's on the Adam Carolla show now too. But that's obviously a great listen. Like the funniest thing about that is they don't know shit about current MMA, and they just kind of when big fights come up, they talk about it a little bit, but you're like, oh, what happened on this fight night last week? It's always Adam being like, you watched the fights? And they're like, no. And he tells them what happened, and then they talk about it. And then, but funny. The best part is the fighters are funnier than the comedians. Shout out Sean McCorkle. I also like dark humor, funny. I think in comedy, you shouldn't get canceled unless it's really ridiculously fucked up. If you're trying to make a joke, then it's a joke. It's
if it doesn't. Here's my line. If it doesn't sound like a joke, and it sounds like something disrespectful, that's the line. So if you can hear that it's more disrespectful than funny, then you already know that that's not a joke.
But yeah, no, that's funny. It was like just to give an example of this guy's humor, like last week they're like, you know, and this also them like they fuck shit up. They don't care. Like they just they're riffing. The guy's like, yeah, so Henry Cejudo was like one of 6 kids to a Mexican mother. The dad was in prison. And then McCorkle was like, I can't believe that a Mexican mother raised 6 kids on her own. And by that, I mean only 6 kids. Like, you know,
Jesus
like that shit is fucking funny to me. You know what I mean? Like that.
It's also like this deadpan comedy too. It's like you're like teeing people up to then just and then hit them 30 yards down the fucking center of the fairway.
Later on, they're talking about Alonzo Menafield, and he's like, "Yeah, Alonzo Menafield grew up in the foster system, couldn't like read, you know, like till he was like 15." This is Adam giving the background, and then he's like, you know, he's lost a few fights in a row, so you know he's got like, you know, a lot of pressure on him. He's like, and then McCorkle goes, "Yeah, he lost a few. He lost a few in a row. He was, you know, looking at the writing on the wall, but he couldn't read it." You know, like, you know, just like he's so fucking funny. Like his jokes are so good. Like you said, like pants short. Like he always makes fun of Bruce Buffer and Dominic Cruz for being gay. Like, you know, it's just like very funny shit like that. Like, so MMA Roasted should honestly be at the top of that list. Because I'll like listen to old ones that I haven't heard in a year just to like giggle. Like, but they were not. But then again, they're not really a sports podcast. You know, like they'll talk about the fights and stuff. Like they'll be in a category of sports, but they're clearly more just a comedy podcast.
Riffing, comedy, life, voice chopping. Yeah. Those are the best podcasts anyway.
And like just Don Fry talk, because Adam will come on just like be bitching about his life, and Don Fry will just be like, "Oh, boo-hoo, you fucking pussy," you know, like, you know, just like
Corolla is like comes from that world of like the Man Show and like
So that's what I was, and Mayhem is kind of like, it's funny because they're all fighters, they're all tough guys. Mayhem's been in prison, felony, like for years, and like he's the one who's like the most like liberal, like, you know, like between Fry and McCorkle, you know, he's the one who's like, and he's on the Adam Carolla show, and he's like the most liberal one, you know.
That's funny.
So, and they're all super duper funny, like great personalities.
It might be a bit then. If he's the most liberal, it might be a bit then for him just to be the most liberal.
Maybe he just can't keep up with Don Fry and them.
Right. So he's like, yo, fucking swing from the other side, completely fuck with them.
Don Fry is like the typical man's man of the world, like the champion fighter from the early days of the UFC when they weren't making a lot of money. Did like professional wrestling in Japan, fought in Japan. And if this is to you and anyone who hasn't seen this, type in Don Fry's best fight. It's Don Fry versus Yoshihiro Takayama. It is the greatest fight in the history of fights, boxing, MMA, anything. I'll send you a link to it. It is. I'm
looking it up right now.
It's literal Rock'em Sock'em robots in human form, and Don Fry is like a bodybuilder, like jacked.
Oh my god! Look at Takayama's face. Oh my god!
And Takayama's like probably 6'8". He's probably like 6'8", 350 pounds, and Don Fry's probably like 6'2", 225, but absolutely jacked out of his mind. And they just go at it. But yeah, that's like the greatest fight of all time. But yeah, that'd be my answer there. I don't know if we have any more questions after that. But obviously, shout out to Mostly Sports and, you know, fucking my take. They're the cream of the crop. You know, obviously,
is awesome.
You know, cream of the crop.
Part of my take is great. Yeah,
the best interviewers in the world. And then Mostly Sports is just fun. You know, like they're the same kind of style. Another Barstool product.
For sure. I like a couple others, Jeff Teague's podcast with those two boys for basketball. Those guys are entertaining for sure.
Jeff Teague is a stud. He's going to do great things.
Yeah, I like that pod.
He's going to make more podcasting than the NBA. He's a natural.
Yeah, he's a natural for sure. And I just like they are just funny. It's like his homies, and like they just chopping shit up, and they talk about AAU circuits and shit like that, like the behind the scenes basketball stuff too, which is fire. So just another pod I wanted to shout out to.
Love that. I love that we shout out some other pods. That's fun.
Yeah. All right. The last question was based on the whole answer by what's his name, Hunter, during his press conference at the Combine. Harder to be a pitcher and a batter in baseball or offense and defense in football. I also saw the Yankees. What's his name? Who they just picked? What's his name? Third baseman on the Yankees. It's slipping my brain. Big Mouth. We just signed. It was whatever. Jazz.
Jazz Chisholm.
He was like he commented under it. He commented under it. He was like, "It's different, but all the credit to you, Travis." Like he was basically saying, like, "Shut up."
Well, it is different because like baseball, it takes more skill to like work on those skills, but football, it's just so physically demanding to play that many plays in a football game.
You think the football?
I mean, football's harder. I mean, I'm playing both ways in high school football. You are fucking, out of commission for days. Like playing a football game to this day is the hardest thing I've ever put my body through. Is playing a football game both ways. Starting slot receiver and starting linebacker, like playing every single play, like is absolutely brutal. To do it at a level of the NFL or college football is insanity. That being said, I don't know. It's tough.
Wear and tear.
Yeah, I mean the body. I mean it is so hard to do that. I think that pitching and like I said, it's a skill versus durability game. I guess Like
I still say the durability game is there for the baseball too, with the arm and usage of your shoulders and just like your body in general, the torquing.
I would say on like a play-to-play basis, sustaining an injury is so much more prevalent in football.
Yeah.
On every single play, whether it's contact, non-contact.
That's undeniable. That's not refutable.
And to play every single play. But I don't think Travis Hunter should or will play both ways. And like, I think that if anything, it'll be like a Dion. Every once in a while, you'll pump him on offense to, run a gadget sort of thing or whatever.
If you're drafting him to be your starting receiver, your WR1 or WR2, whatever the fuck you want to call it, and then your starting corner. Good luck.
To play both. I don't know. It's miraculous he pulled it off in college football. He did miss time. I know his first year at Colorado. I don't know what happened at Jackson State. I don't have Jackson State playing on ESPN Plus or whatever. I never watched those games. I'll be honest. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend I watched Jackson State versus Grambling.
I can't imagine whatever conference they were in playing both ways in that conference is as demanding as what's going to be in the NFL.
I think they were winning a lot of those games like 56-0 and shit. Like but this past season at Colorado, I was very impressed that he's made it through the whole season playing both ways. Incredible. But I just know. Let's just bring it back to the high school level. Sure, there's a lot of people who play like football both ways in high school, but I think there's more guys who pitched in high school and played the field and end up just playing in the minor leagues as batters,
Yeah, that's true. That's a good take. I think the high school to college and the notion of like how it would look from that perspective and how demanding it is even back then, and also from a personal use case for yourself from playing football. I think that's sound. I also think that nothing surmounts that point. I was just playing devil's advocate, but I think I agree with you that nothing surmounts the point that the physical demanding play-to-play versus like in baseball, play-to-play, the physicality is just, it's different.
Especially like you're saying with Ohtani, if like he just retires from the outfield, if he just like DHs, doesn't even play the field, like only sets foot on the field 4 or 5 times a game to hit, you know what I mean? Like, and then pitch when he pitches, like, I
think in terms of success, though, like being a successful two-way player, it's much harder in baseball to me than football.
I don't know because we've really,
I feel like football, you can use athleticism.
But since like the 1950s, like Chuck Bednarik, like we haven't seen anyone play both ways in football, like where they're playing every play. We've seen Troy Brown and Julian Edelman float, for the Patriots in times when 18 people are injured.
Right.
Chris Gamble, at Ohio State played both ways a little bit. Same with Charles Woodson. Get to the NFL. Chris Gamble maybe played a little wide receiver, but was basically a corner. But we've never really seen it. We've seen Ohtani go a full season pitching and hitting.
Right. Sure.
We've in modern day.
We've seen that it's possible. From like in every in modern day, but we haven't really seen that from the NFL side.
But shout out to Chuck Bednarik playing like center and middle linebacker in like 1950s football, like crazy.
What? Starting on both?
Yeah, he's Hall of Famer for the Eagles.
That's actually interesting because the center of the offensive line, like the center, I mean, you're in there, but I don't know. It's not like they're doing the tush push and shit like that, so I don't know.
What do you mean? Every play was the fucking tush push in the 1950s. You know,
I guess. And
they're running the ball probably 65, 70% of the time.
He's using like fucking pillows as his fucking as his shoulder pads too.
It's almost, but it's also like it's also kind of like jujitsu. This is a weird analogy, but I'm somehow my mind made it there. Where like you learn how to defend submissions by learning how to attack submissions, and like center middle linebacker is like, as a center you're trying to like neutralize a linebacker a lot of the time,
and as a linebacker you're trying to neutralize
the center. You know what I mean?
So neutralize the offensive line and get
you're trying to read the center. You know, so it's like you kind of learn a lot about the other side while you're doing one, you know.
That's the
I like that take.
I'm gonna play both ways, yeah.
Yeah, I like that take.
All right, cool.
And I guess that applies to Travis Hunter. As a wide receiver, you're trying to beat a corner, so you're learning both sides at both sides.
If he wants to come to the Giants at number 3 and play wide receiver and corner, I'll be the first guy that says sign him up.
I almost asked you today if you wanted to like mock the top 10, but I'm like, we still got time. Combine's still going on right now. And I know you're not the biggest college football guy, so you might need a little draft.
We got to do our mock for sure.
Yeah.
We'll do a mock. But
I'll do a first round mock. I do it every year.
Fuck yeah. But Hotz said Sixers Dreamers. We're definitely going to get into college basketball. Obviously, March is coming around here. I just went to the Stanford game. They won again. I'm 3-0 going now. Beat the 21-7 SMU. Those guys. I mean, the refs.
So remember we were talking about how it's not the Stanford Cardinals. It's the Stanford Cardinal.
Yeah.
And you want to know why that is? It's the color cardinal. It's not a bird. The mascot is actually the color cardinal.
The mascot is a tree. Is actually
that's what I'm saying. It's not that's why it's not a bird. It
should be called the Stanford trees. Also because everyone's high out here because it's California.
The Stanford Sycamores.
Stanford Sycamores. Yeah, exactly.
That's actually pretty cool.
Stanford Redwood.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, but it was cool. It's good to see that the program is doing well. They're 19-10. They got 2 games left. They finished 21-10. Maybe they get a bid. Maybe they're looking at a little tournament run. They had this one kid, Maxine.
The conference tournament. If they finish 21-10, the conference tournament will be what puts them in or out of the NCAA.
You got to get that conference tournament going.
St. John's won again yesterday against Seton Hall. Seton Hall gave them all they could handle, and they held on. That was a good game.
You see that halftime speech by Rick Pitino? We got to shout him out, Rick Pitino.
I said that last week. I talked about it. Yeah,
I watched it, bro.
Yeah. I told you got to watch that shit. That was good. But also,
that's an all-timer.
He broke out the white suit yesterday too. The old white suit that he wore at Louisville. He wore the fucking all-white suit yesterday against Seton Hall too. Yeah, Rick Pitino's a fucking dog, but he's coaching. He's a coach, man. He's a great fucking coach.
True coach. I think if you haven't seen his halftime speech, you got to watch that.
Is there anything like where a coach is there man, I'm trying to think of a good way to word this. So like let's just say a coach's profile lining up with a sport. Italian guy coaching college basketball.
Yeah.
I think might be the one. Yeah.
Almost like a southern guy coaching college football, actually. Like the southern twangy
Paul Bryant,
Dabo, whatever. That fucking Saban has a little twang.
Yeah, Saban Southern, for sure.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
That's
just an Italian fucking
basketball. Basketball, you got a mixed bag. You got all these different types of guys now, all these different types of brainiacs and whatever the fuck. Former players, players.
Former player, generic white guy.
Random guy on OKC. Who the fuck is that guy? Can you name me the head coach of OKC right now?
No, I can't. I definitely can't.
Yeah, no one knows who he is because he's the man. And he came out during All-Star game. I still don't remember his name. He was introduced. Don't know.
We should shout him out real quick before. I'm gonna look it up.
Hold on, I'll look it up. OKC coach.
Even when you Google Oklahoma,
Mark Agnot.
Mark Agnot. I guess I don't know.
French. Shout out.
Mark Daniel. He played in the NBA.
Yeah.
I remember him.
Like I said, a nothing. No one knows him. He's the man.
His Google search literally ends at like 4 things. It's crazy. Yeah, Mark Daniel. Crazy. Shout out to him.
Shout out. Sam Presti finding gold in every little haystack out there. But
that's why I don't know who he is, because when I think of their success, I chalk it up to Presti.
Yeah, exactly. Of course.
I thought Billy Donovan was still there. He could have told me. I would have said sure.
Where is Billy coaching? I don't even know where he's coaching now.
I don't know.
I'm gonna go college.
I'm gonna say he's not with the Bulls anymore.
Billy Donovan.
Oh, he is the Bulls coach.
He's
I
the
said
coach.
he's not with the Bulls. He just is with the Bulls.
Jeez.
Billy Donovan played for
Yeah.
Rick Pitino.
Yeah.
How crazy is that?
Rick Pitino's fucking old shit.
I can't believe I said the team that he played for. I mean, that he coached for, and then was like, he doesn't coach there anymore. That's wild.
That's wild.
He absolutely does still coach there. Sorry, Billy Donovan.
He doesn't care. He's making $10 million a year to lose.
Yeah, he played for Rick Pitino at Providence, I think.
Damn. Pitino's such a goat, man. Jeez.
Yeah,
All
he's
right.
a beast.
Well, let's wrap it up for this week. Row 26, Hotz Heads, Dreamers. It's always a pleasure. We'll be back next week with a little bit more of a NBA playoff preview, maybe getting some NHL playoff previews as well. And we'll definitely continue to discuss the MLB as we get to opening day and NCAA basketball. March Madness right around the corner. Keep it
All right,
locked,
brother. Peace.
Peace.